I would like to know, for those people maybe who were born in bad situation, maybe we can talk of a country they which they swore in. What is it planned by God? Those things, like does He plan since like those one that some of my people will live in desperation?
Okay. Thank you very much. Allow me to say that the understanding of fate itself or predestination, it will help us. According to Islam, there are various levels of fate or predestination, which in Arabic is known as Qadar. So it is the belief that whatever happens, it happens through the will of the Almighty God, through His power and through His knowledge. There is nothing that is hidden from Him. So when we are talking of predestination, we are saying that everything that is going to unfold in this world, God already knew about it beforehand. So the children that are being born in war-torn countries, it's not like God decided that I'm going to cause war, and then in this war, there are children that are going to be born in that war. No. But what happens is God created us and the entire creation, and He knew beforehand what was going to happen because of the free will that He had given us as human beings, what choices that we were going to make, and what those decisions that we're going to make were going to lead the world into. So yes, those people that are born in war-torn areas, it's not like God has written that they must be born in those areas, but God knew that they are people so and so who are going to be born in such and such a situation. But the decision for them to be born in that situation, it was not God's decision. I give you an example. If you are a teacher, you know that a student who is going to pass in exam, that student must read and learn and study. That student will pass. There are certain students of yours that you can look at and say that this one is going to fail, this one is going to pass. Why? Because you know that this student doesn't care about learning, doesn't study, and doesn't know anything. So when the exam comes, he or she is not going to pass. So this is just a small example about us as human beings, that a teacher can know which student is going to pass and which one is going to fail. So God's knowledge is unlimited, unlike the knowledge of the teacher. He knows that I have created this vast world, and in different areas there are people who are staying there. But because of decisions of some people in that place, in a certain place, there is going to be havoc, there is going to be corruption, and the descendants or people that are going to be born in that environment, they are going to be born under certain circumstances. It's not like God is writing for them, but God knows that this is what is going to happen. You know, program director, this topic of predestination is actually a deeper topic, because what you are saying, the view that you are making, I would want the pastors here to also help me so that we can clarify on this topic. It's something that when I look at it from a Christian point of view, it was very hot and topical from the 15th century. There was one of the learned men of God known as John Calvin. You have what we call the Calvinists. And I heard Pastor Voman Piswana when he was talking in his introduction. He said there are some people who hold an extreme view. And one of the people within the Christian fraternity was John Calvin. And it's actually one of the core beliefs of the Calvinist. It is summed up in what is known as TULIP. So TULIP, the T stands for total redemption. So they say that God has already chosen who is going to be saved from amongst the people. There is nothing that you can do that is going to make you attain salvation. So God has already chosen the people. And they use scriptures in the Bible. For example, Romans chapter 8, verses 28 until 30. And also Ephesians chapter 1. If you take your reading from verse 5, but if you can continue also with verse 5 and verse 6 and verse 11, you can see where the Calvinists derive their beliefs, which is this total redemption. And they say that a person can only be freed by divine will of the Almighty God. There is nothing that we as human beings can do. And we are saying that according to the teachings of Islam and the other teachings of Christianity from the explanations that we have, God is not responsible for our choices. We are responsible for what we do. The Quran tells us that laisa li insani illa ma sa'a. There is nothing for a human being except that which he strives for. If you are going to fold your hands and you say that I'm not going to do nothing and I'm just going to sit here, you are going to die of hunger. Don't blame God and say God has killed me of hunger. You are responsible for your condition. And the Quran tells us that Allah or the Almighty God will never change the condition of the people until they themselves change what is within themselves, which means that change is in our hands. But God knows beforehand what we are going to do before we do it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Imamo.